What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Bob Arum, CEO of Top Rank, has told ESPN.com that Wilder Fury, the trilogy, is not taking place July 18th. It's going to get pushed back, and it could get pushed back as late as early October. He's saying he doesn't, with the coronavirus going around right now, COVID-19 virus that's going around, man, it's going to push that fight back. He said he doesn't even know that the MGM Grand, which was slated to host the trilogy, will be available at that point. So they're looking to push that fight back, and it could go as late as early October. So that'll be somewhere in the fall, man, which will be push that fight in the NFL season. That's one thing about this fight. If it would have been in July, it would have had that was a real good month for that fight to showcase and shine and get all the publicity, as the NFL wouldn't have been kicking off by then. They still would have had to compete with baseball, but baseball's not as popular as the NFL. And then you still in the NBA season, which technically probably could drag on because of this coronavirus. Playoffs could still be going on because usually the NBA season ends in June. So when they first slated this fight to go down in July, man, it was pretty much going to be a big time event that would have had all the sports public attention. Now if you push it back toward the fall, it's going to be competing with the NFL along with college football and with baseball. So that's going to be a thing that could hurt the pay-per-view buys and could hurt the ticket sales a little bit. Could. We'll see what happens. But with the coronavirus, it's obviously going. Both guys are not going to be able to train right now. They maybe can do some training, but the main problem is Tyson Fury lives in the UK, and they're not allowing travel. They have a travel ban. They're not allowing people to travel from the UK to the United States as of right now. So even if he wanted to come over here and go to Top Rank Gym, I think Top Rank Gym is Top Rank Gym is in the United States, and he would have to travel back here to train because he was trained in the Top Rank Gym for the last Wilder fight, the rematch. And I think he came down here and trained in Top Rank Gym I know he's been training in Top Rank Gym ever since he signed that Top Rank contract, that Top Rank ESPN contract. He's been training and he's been holding his training camps in the Top Rank Gym. So obviously he's not going to be able to, while this coronavirus epidemic is going on, pandemic going on across the world, he's not going to be able to travel from the UK to the United States. So that's another problem that's going to, with many other problems, many other obstacles, it's going to end up getting this fight pushed back. Wilder, he's from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He trains in Alabama, so he'll be able to, maybe kick off his training, but it would hurt Tyson Fury as far as flying back from the UK to the USA. So again, the fight is not going down July the 18th at the MGM Grand. I think that actually helps Deontay Wilder, as he'll have some more time to recuperate from the loss in the rematch. And he took a lot of punishment in that fight. He'll be able to kind of work on some things that he needs to work on. In particular, footwork. Work on getting that jab more consistent. Working on developing the left hook, the left hand. Work on delivering that right hand at a more consistent and a more accurate rate than he did in the rematch, because he was able to land that right hand, but he was like in the first fight, he was kind of telegraphing the right hand. As he tried to do it, Fury would actually get out the way when he saw the right hand was getting loaded up by Wilder. He was able to stay out of harm's way, and even when he landed on Fury was able to kind of roll it and kind of anticipate it coming and kind of take some of the steam out of it. See, the punch that hurts you in boxing are the punches that you don't see. Even when he landed those right hands in the rematch, Fury saw it coming, so he was able to kind of roll with the punch and then basically anticipate it coming and kind of brace himself before the impact and that was enabled him to take the punch pretty well. You know, he actually took that right hand pretty well and didn't really buckle his knees. He didn't seem stunned or dazed or anything like that. So Wilder's going to have to do a little bit better job of throwing that right hand with deception, being a more deceptive with the right hand, not just doing the little stutter step he does. He does a little stutter step. He was able to knock out Fury in that first fight in the 12th round with a little stutter step. But before that, you know, I guess Fury might have got tired in that 12th round, lost focus. But before that, in that first fight, he was doing that stutter step, and he was telegraphing that he was about to throw the right hand, and Fury was making a miss throughout that first fight. And in the second fight, he was able to pretty much take that away again as far as, you know, getting out of the way. And then when he did land, he was able to brace for it because he saw it coming, and he was able to kind of roll it and take a lot of the steam off the right hand. So that's some things that Wilder will have to work on. Fury can work on some things too, because even though he was able to get the knockout in the rematch, he smothered a lot of his punches, and he was still getting hit with a lot of jabs to the body. Wilder was able to hit him with a lot of jabs to the body in the first and the second fight, and he was able to use his jab very well in the first fight. So Fury can work on his head movement, worrying about slipping the jab a little bit better than he did, particularly in the first fight and even in the second fight, especially in the first 2 rounds of the second fight. Wilder was able to get his jabs off to the body and to the head. So that's a few things, guys, that have a little bit more time to work on. And I think it benefits Wilder more than it benefits Fury. So hopefully we'll have a great trilogy. But again, the fight is not going to take place July 18th. That is what Bob Arum is telling ESPN.com. He's saying the fight could take place as late as early October 2020. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires, man. But just letting you guys know. Subscribe to my JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. Let me know your thoughts on the Fury Wilder trilogy. And will it take place? When will it take place? Will it be October? Will it be a little bit sooner than October? We'll see what happens. And will it take place in the MGM? Las Vegas is really getting hit hard with this coronavirus epidemic, and they're taking a huge loss economically too, as the casinos, most of the casinos, if not all the casinos, are shut down. So maybe in October, maybe they move that fight somewhere else. Maybe they move it to a stadium. Maybe that's a stadium fight now in October. We'll see what happens. As you know, Jerry World could always be a selling point, as I'm hearing that's where the Canelo Triple G trilogy is going to be in Cowboy Stadium. I think that fight's going to take place in September, so that more than likely going to take them out of the equation as far as Wilder Fury 3. I would assume they have 2 major fights back-to-back months in Cowboy Stadium. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that fight probably will still take place in Vegas. You know, maybe MGM Grand, if they're available, not in Grand, maybe they take that place, maybe they take that fight somewhere else. Maybe take it back to LA like the first fight was. Or maybe they look at putting that fight in a new area. Atlanta is a booming market. They did a good job of selling out and coming out in big numbers in the Gervonta Davis, Jokic Gamboa fight that took place a couple of months back. So that's just a few things I'm just thinking out loud. You know, maybe it could be some facilities or some cities that maybe can host that fight if Vegas is not ready to host that fight at the time that they're looking to do the trilogy. But we'll see what happens, man. All those details will have to be ironed out in the months to come, and we'll see what happens. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.